Welcome back, viewers at home. Tonight we are talking all things vitamin drip, also known as IV vitamin drip therapy, which involves administering a customized blend of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants and other essential micronutrients directly into the bloodstream through the IV infusion. Now, some of the common benefits that we have seen range from, increased energy to that of, granting support for chronic illnesses and nutrient deficiencies inside cells. Now, for someone to give us more directed insight and understanding on these vitamin drips, I am joined by Razana Ali, who is going to give us more understanding and exploring the potential benefits and help us separate fact and or rather from fiction in this increasingly popular trend. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us, Mrs. Ali.
Walaikum salam. Good evening. Thanks, Shazia, for having me.
Now, to get started on our conversation, I just want to find out from you if you can walk us through the basic concept behind these treatments and explain how they are meant to work.
So I think, we just got to step back a little bit and think about where it actually started. And most of it is unfortunately related to COVID. What happened was that people that were being treated was usually treated at home, trying to stay out of hospitals. So we then developed getting sort of drips into homes or into different rooms where it wasn't a usual thing. So we've also then started doing intravenous vitamin drips, where previously you would go to a pharmacy and a nurse would give you an intramuscular injection, and that will be vitamins. Okay, we all know it that way. Or you would get a little packet of multivitamins and you would take it orally. So with all those things that have now changed, it's still there, but obviously the opportunity now to get the vitamins into the right place at the right time at a very fast pace is the idea. Because when you are injecting into a muscle, it takes at least 20 to 30 minutes to just stabilize, and then it starts absorbing, and that could be over a period of hours for the absorption to take place. And with the effect then, within perhaps a day or two, and then last possibly a week or two. With an intravenous infusion, it helps to get it there faster and it stays in your blood longer. The absorption is much quicker because, and actually much more compared to just an injection. So, yeah, that's where the vitamins come in. When you are tired, trying to get a little bit of a boost, you can then get a vitamin drip. The thing about the drip as well is that you can actually add more things to it. You are limited when it comes to doing an intramuscular injection. You are limited to the amount of fluid you can actually inject. But when you do an intravenous fluid, you can actually you can do more than that. And I remember when I worked in trauma unit, we used to use vitamin drips for people that had a very rough night the night before and intoxicated the following morning. So we would then that's where the jet fuel idea came from. So we give them a little bit of fuel so that they can get through.
And what would you say are some of the most common reasons people actually seek out vitamin drips? Because we see on social media that there are individuals who are doing them and it's like a whole thing. But to just seek more clarity and understanding, what would you say are some of the, common reasons and how realistic are these expectations?
So the most common is to get a little bit of energy. Usually we are so run down these days with the kind of lifestyle that we do have. You are run down, so you get that little bit of energy, and as well as an immunity booster. Things like vitamin C that we sometimes take in orally when we have a cold is given now intravenously, so it gets there again much faster. You can give a little bit more, and it helps to get the body to a better place much quicker. So I think that is the reason why we're doing that. And again, as post-COVID, there's so much more that needs to be done now than what we did before.
And we all understand that if we are healthy, then we really, release the pressure from the health sector or just the health facilities that are already dilapidating in that sense. Just want to find out from you, how do you see these treatments fitting into the broader health and wellness strategy that includes proper nutrition, physical activity, and stress management?
Well, there's a small aspect of it, if we're eating the right food, if we're doing it correctly, cooking it correctly, doing the exercise, having a more of a wellness lifestyle, you're going to get a better response from your body. So unfortunately, we are so rushed these days. The traffic's so heavy. You in the traffic for about 2 hours. By the time you get home, you're too tired to actually want to cook a proper pot of food. So sometimes it becomes easier to get takeaway. Sometimes it becomes easier to not go to gym for a couple of days because our bodies are just very, very tired. And again, with most people that had COVID are generally more drained more often than what they were before.
And now seeing that
So
they
there is
are,
an opportunity. And
oh,
sorry, and then previously, it used to be only in the doctor's rooms, used to be only in hospitals. Now it's available, but it's most importantly we need to be doing it in the right, responsible way.
And I think the best way to start in doing it in the most right and responsible way is being able to determine which is best for my, health needs at that, because we know that there is a variety of tailor-made or customized
Yeah.
packages. Can you walk us through how do I, as Maimuna or Aisha did share to say she wants to try it, is able to, pick out a package that best suits their, physical or health needs?
Essentially, you shouldn't be doing it on your own. You should be going to a doctor that has done a proper investigation, that has seen what your needs are, and then suggest this is what you should be doing going forward. And then you have an option whether you want to do it right there, whether you want to do it intravenously, whether you want to do it intramuscularly, or whether you just want to take a tablet. So that policy is still there; it still stands.
And how long do these, sessions last, or rather, how many sessions should one person have?
So when you take tablets, you take it once a day, every day for a whole month. Okay, and most times we want to do that for another 3, 4, 5 months. When it comes to intramuscular injections, because it's the injection a nodule stays there for a very long time, you possibly can do it every 2 or 3 weeks, or sometimes in the beginning, doctors would normally start you on a regime of every week, one injection a week. Whereas when you do the intravenous way, it's there for at least a month, but each person is an individual. So that's the one thing that we have to remember. There are people that can manage for 6 weeks with just one drip, and there's others that can manage for 3 weeks only. So when you do feel that you become drained, that's going to be the next opportunity for intravenous therapy or for an injection, for that matter. But each person is an individual, and you must know yourself. If you know yourself, you know that I need to go. I need to go, and I need to go and get it.
And looking at the cost implications of these vitamin drips, would you say they are expensive or affordable? And where can individuals look into getting a vitamin drip?
Well, you got to look at the big picture. So intramuscularly, it's done at a doctor's rooms in a muscle. You leave, you go home, and you hope for the best. Intravenously, it's a different story. That's a very, very, very invasive procedure. So, in other words, if you're going to have your drip done intravenously, there's lots of opportunity for you to have any sort of side effects that can happen, and it will happen immediately, versus when you do an intramuscular. So, unfortunately, the person that is doing it needs to be qualified, needs to have the right qualification, so that they can, in the event that there's any problems thereafter or in that time, can manage that. So with that comes a responsibility on the person that's doing the injection, and that means it's extra cost. Okay, because if anything happens, they have to pay the liability for that. So, and conveniently, intravenously is right there and then. and most times it's 45 to 60 minutes, just depends on what you have in the drip. Okay, so these days too, we're looking at not only vitamins, there's a whole aesthetic market that has also come up. And that aesthetic market obviously that is going to be more expensive. So you're not always going to only have vitamins. You're going to also sometimes have an aesthetic drip as well. So that is a different story.
And just in
So I think
closing,
it's
would you
expensive.
say that vitamin drips are here to stay, or they just, a fad? And also, is there anything you'd like to share with our viewers at home that probably we might have left out in our conversation regarding vitamin drips?
I think it's here to stay, only because as human beings, we are vain, and with it gives you the opportunity then again for the aesthetic part to come in. So the vitamins will also be part of the aesthetic sort of drips as well. Those have previously been done only in doctors' rooms or in surgeries, but yeah, now those things have changed. Again, I'm going to express and say that it's got to be done responsibly. We're not sure, when you walk into a drip sort of bar, you need to know the people that are there are responsible enough to look after you if something goes wrong.
Hmm. And I
Yeah,
think,
so there's sometimes in my view, there's also with the aesthetics, it's actually a combination of the aesthetic medication plus the vitamins that actually makes it work. So sometimes you're going to see that, and still the aesthetics rather go to your doctor, make sure that you are the right person and you are able to do actually accept it. Does your body accept what you're going to be doing?
and I think it would be quite premature for me to not ask, because you kept emphasizing done responsibly, correctly. What are some of the health, implication if the drip is not administered in the correct way or responsible way?
So I mean, there's obviously just the local area, just there where you introduce the drip, that it's got to be done. It's got to be cleaned enough. It's got to be a sterile gel coat that you're going to be using. The drip package everything should be clean, should be sterile, because you can introduce bacteria or at any point in time. So you're looking at localized inflammation. That's the one thing. You don't necessarily also just see it immediately. Sometimes you can see it a couple of hours later, so you might not even be in the rooms at the time when it happens. So the person that administers it needs to know that they're doing the right thing. It's got to be in a clean environment as well, and of course the hands have to be clean too. And then there's also most times, sorry, the doctors are the ones that are doing it at the surgeries, and usually that is a clean place. Okay, and then you can get an allergic reaction at any point in time, whether it be a local allergic reaction or whether it will be your full body reaction. And sometimes that would mean that you have to your heart can stop beating. Okay, and the person that is doing the drip needs to know how to do resuscitation as well. So I would suggest it's a registered nurse, or it's got to be a doctor, or it's got to be a responsible pharmacist.
Jazakallah so much, for really giving us more information around, vitamin drips, because I mean we see what is trending, and it often at times we lack to do the research and find proper information on what does this actually mean for one's health, and the importance of actually getting the correct person to administer the vitamin drip. But jazakallah so much, for enlightening us at that.
Okay, Afwan. And there's just one other person is the paramedic. We mustn't forget them too.
Certainly. Viewers at home, that
Yeah.
was my guest, Ms. Razana Ali, who was giving us more information. So we have facts rather than the fiction that is mostly marketed when it comes to all things vitamin drips. And I think one thing I take away is that if you are going to, go for a session for vitamin drip, make sure it is meant for your body or for your physical health, because you don't want to end up with, cardiac arrest and many other issues that may come with that. But viewers at home, let's head over to a net break. We'll see you just after this.